With regard to the potential prosecution of the press for the disclosure of material, that is not something that I've ever been involved in, heard of, or would think would be a wise policy.
That was embattled Attorney General Eric Holder during a Justice Department hearing that was on May 15th, and almost a month of back and forth with House Republicans. Holder now has finally responded to their request for a further explanation of that testimony. Now, just yesterday, the chief law enforcement officer wrote a new letter maintaining that he didn't lie under oath, despite the fact that we now know that he personally authorized the spying on Fox News' James Rosen. Now, the letter reads in part, quote, "I do believe that a thorough investigation of the disclosure of classified information that threatened national security was necessary and appropriate." So now the Attorney General thinks the investigation was necessary and appropriate only 3 weeks after he told the world that he felt, quote, remorse. Pretty interesting. Here with reaction. TV, radio talk show host, a Sean Compton's production, host Billy Cunningham, and Fox News contributor Tamara Holder. It's not something I've been involved in, but he did sign the affidavit and says it's necessary and appropriate. Is that contradictory?
No. It's contradictory for somebody who doesn't understand the law like yourself, Sean.
Oh.
But in order for me to give you...
Bill Cunningham's a lawyer.